Israel Adesanya seemingly, I want to be clear, seemingly making a black joke about Charlie Kirk. All right? It's quoted right here. Essentially, he goes, I call this the Kirk shot because it's black. Figure it out. Little spoiler alert. I think that he's trying to promote an alcohol company. I'm going to tell you that ahead of time because you'll be able to kind of see it now that I told you. If I didn't mention that, it might just blow over your head. And this is an interesting topic, an interesting debate. So we could definitely, right, look deeper into it, right? Because obviously there are some, let's just keep it a buck. There's some black people out there who aren't a fan of Charlie Kirk because of his debates. You know, I'm assuming it's got to do with like DEI, wanting to do away with that, wanting to, and let's see what else. I'll look up the controversy for Charlie Kirk as far as what he said about black people, because clearly, you know what I mean, there is a side that is not happy with him. A lot of people, you know, I think, what was it, Kai Cenat had something to say about him, saying like, oh, that's the guy who had some crazy things to say about us, right? So I'm just saying, there's definitely some people out there who aren't too fond of him and what he said. I don't know if it's about black people. I don't know. I'm going to look into it. Okay. I'm not qualified to speak on this fully, but we're going to look into it and I'll try to give my most fair assessment. Right off the bat, though, do I think it's cool to diss the dead? I think it's a little bit corny to diss the dead. And I think it's even cornier to diss the dead, all right, when you're trying to promote a liquor company. Straight up. I think that's a little bit like unethical, but it is what it is. For those that don't remember, Izzy also told that stupid ass joke when he was trying to sell the Yoel Romero fight, and he said he's going to make Yoel fall like the Twin Towers. Then Izzy, I mean, I just got to say it, but it's like Izzy, you know, somebody made a joke about his dog, right? Strickland made a joke about Izzy's dog, and Izzy cried about it. He wanted to correct it, set the record straight. You know, there's videos out there of him mouth feeding his dog, touching on the dog's private parts. So it wasn't all just like made up shit. Like people saw some stuff online and they started making up their own like narratives. I say that to say though, he couldn't take that joke, and here he is making a joke about the late Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I just think it's distasteful. Even if he did go, you know, bad route, there's just no need to, you know, it's done with. With all that being said, I guess we can play it now. But let me know what you guys think. Is he out of pocket? Because look, there's a poll here. Well, actually, the poll's not showing up on here, but let me pull up the poll on Instagram real quick. I simply did a poll because I know it's a split vote. First off, 425 comments, 1,600 likes, 2,100 shares, bro. 2,426 responses to the poll. Foul or fair? All right, 57% say foul, 43% say fair. It's a close vote. It's a close vote. Clearly, there's a side here that more people think foul than fair, but it's a lot of controversy right now. We'll go over some comments too, but it's a lot of bullshit debate, just like people ignoring other people's opinions and just wanting to spew out their thoughts. A little bit of a toxic debate. Let's watch this.
Joke. Okay. That is the name. God's people. Alright, black joke. I call this the Kirk shot. You know why? Because it's black. There's something there. There's this. Just figure it out.
I mean, I'm sure it's both, but you know, he said he calls it the Kirk shot because it's black, but I'm sure he also calls it that because there's literally a bullet in the neck of the glass, bro. You cannot make this shit up, and I feel bad even saying that, but there's a bullet in the neck of the glass. While he's talking about Charlie Kirk, who got shot in the neck, right, assassinated in September after suffering a gunshot to the neck during a debate at Utah Valley University. Apparently, while they're debating fucking gun laws too. So just know, this guy pisses off a lot of people because he chooses a side oftentimes. And Another one is with abortion and stuff like that. So people who are in favor of abortion, a lot of women, not a fan of this guy either. So he has a lot of haters, but he also has a lot of supporters. But this is the type of stuff he debates, guns, abortion, DEI. I'm curious what else he said about black people that has, because people say he said crazy things, and I don't think the DEI is what they're talking about, doing away with that.
There's a joke in there somewhere. You can do it. Figure it out. Want to hear a black joke? Okay. That is the name. God's people. All right, black joke. I call this the Kirk shot. You know why? Because it's black. There's something there. There's this. Just figure it out. There's a joke in there somewhere. You can do it. Figure it out.
So I realized I gave a little preface and I said he's trying to promote his whiskey or his alcohol company. And I cut it out because there was no point in leaving it in there. It's distasteful, dude. It's just distasteful. So I'll show you that. I'll pull it up on his story right now. Izzy is a Nigerian drunk. He can say what he wants. Izzy is like 12-year-old sometimes, says Louis. Izzy's Izzy. Izzy will Izzy. Izzy will Izzy. My thing is, though, you're doing this to sell your whiskey, bro. Like, that's my thing about it. It just takes away the genuineness. Like, do you even care? Like this is the thing about Izzy. This is what people say about him. Spineless. Are you just hopping on this narrative, this bandwagon? I'm going to say this, and I don't want to be twisted up here, but I'm just going to say what people might think, about Izzy. And I think that the people who pay attention will understand what I'm trying to say. But it's like, is Izzy just exploiting black culture in a way? I know he's black, so don't fucking get it twisted, all right? But is he exploiting it and just hopping on it, right? And almost, vulturing off a topic that he could care less about, but he's just kind of like, steering into it because he can. It's the same thing with the China stuff. But I just want to be clear about this real quick, in case I wasn't already, which I think I was. But it's like, clearly this is a marketing strategy for an alcohol. I'm about to show you it, so bear with me. Clearly it's a marketing strategy. But then I call into question, if you're marketing, I call into question, do you really care about this? Or are you just latching onto this, leeching onto this? But yeah, insane marketing strategy here. And I've held you back on the clip for too long, so let's just watch it where Izzy promotes his fucking brand. And Charlie Kirk is going to be the name of this liquor, okay? That's what it is. So he's like, the next one going to be like Oprah or some shit like that. It's like, oh, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. Nobody really caught on.
Want to hear a black joke? Okay. That is the name. God's people. All right, black joke. I call this the Kirk shot. You know why? Because it's black. There's something there. There's this. Just figure it out. There's a joke in there somewhere. You can do it. Figure it out. Flagrant 2. Chappelle. Fucking.
He just said flavor 2. Flavor 2. Chappelle. Fucking.
I don't know. Oprah. Figure it out. Figure it out.
Chappelle. Oprah. Figure it out. Okay, so here we go. I told you. He's about to drop some liquor names. If he names one of them Charlie Kirk, that is so fucking disrespectful. It's unbelievable. And you know what? It might transition to sales. I'm gonna be real. If he fucking names his liquor Charlie Kirk, oh my goodness gracious. I don't even know what to say, bro. Okay, so let's find out what Charlie Kirk has said about black people. I'll just type that in. I'm gonna type that in. All right. What has Charlie Kirk said bad about black people? I think there's a clip of him being like, he might have been calling somebody like either an Asian person a racial slur or a black person a racial slur. I'm honestly not sure. Okay, so Charlie Kirk is dead, but Black America remembers his racism. Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist, founder of Turning Point USA, and close ally of President Trump, was assassinated. Okay, you get it all. Kirk frequently casts doubt on qualifications of black professionals. If I say black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified, he once said. Well, again, because I've listened to some of his stuff, right? And I'm gonna just say what I believe to have interpreted as. When he says this, I think he's speaking to DEI, okay? And DEI requires you to hire people based off of race, right? It's like a quota. Like you got to have a certain percentage of all ethnicities, Asian probably included. I don't know, Russian and shit like that. I don't fucking know all the races, but the bottom line is you have to have them included. So when you pick somebody, right, based off of that, I mean, I guess it could go also to white people, right? I hope the white pilot is qualified because he's a part of the DEI too. But I think DEI was created to give more rights to minorities, right? That's what it is. DEI was created to give more rights to minorities. So actually, you can't really use the white person argument because they're going to say that white people always get opportunities. But really, it should just come down to qualifications. Just qualifications. Who's qualified for the job? It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian. And I think this was just in context of him not being a fan of DEI because DEI will incentivize people to... It basically discriminates, I guess, against white people. I don't fucking know, bro. He also debates it with college, and he says that, like, I don't know how to explain it, but he said that DEI is racist in a way because it favors minorities. There we go. James understands what I'm saying. He's giving me the 100. In another instance, he referred to a moronic black woman in customer service and questioned whether she was hired because of her excellence or because of affirmative action. So that's why I guess when you do put these policies in place, these questions are going to come up. I'm torn though. Like I think these policies maybe there is something to it. In a white America, right? Maybe there is something to it. I'm not gonna say there's none. You know what I mean? I think, but not only black. Like I think that like Asian gets discriminated against to some degree, right? In white communities. So it's not always. How do I say it? I don't even know how to say it. Okay, so the next one, he also attacked civil rights leaders and the laws that reshaped the nation. Clarence Thomas was a far better black role model to celebrate than Martin Luther King, period, end of story. This guy's not worthy of a national holiday. So I don't know who Clarence Thomas is, but maybe, I don't know. He's just a fan probably of her policies more. Who's Clarence Thomas? Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's not racist. He was a American lawyer and jurist. But just to go back a little bit to this thing I was saying about affirmative action, I guess what I was saying is, yeah, I think it's not just black, right, but also Asians get discriminated against, maybe like, Mexicans or something like that in white America. So I mean, like, yeah, like I'm not saying that never happened. So I do think that this has a good intention as far as DEI at times or affirmative action. But then Charlie Kirk would have said, in this day and age we live in, we're way past that. There's no need to keep catering to that. That's what it is, okay? That's what it is. Like, there was a benefit to this, but I guess Charlie Kirk's argument is we're past that though. People have evolved as a community in the United States, and there's no more discrimination. If you're qualified, you're qualified. If you're not, you're not. Now, do I think there's still discrimination out there? I'm going to say low-key a little bit, yeah. I'm going to say, depending on where you're at, yeah. Right? Even if you're white in a black community, right, you're not going to get all the same opportunities, right? So he hates like Juneteenth and stuff like that. I don't know much about it. Since I'm speaking on it, I might as well educate myself. What's Juneteenth? Okay, so it's to commemorate the end of slavery. I would respect that. Should not be a federal holiday. This holiday is not about celebrating emancipation regardless of the veneer they put on it. Well, what's it about celebrating then? I don't know. That's what it says on Wikipedia. So to be honest, like if this is the best they got, I mean, I was expecting like some racial slurs or something. Should I just go? I'm gonna just go Charlie Kirk racist moments. Charlie Kirk being racist compilation. Okay, so here it is. See, it was. It was an Asian. See, it was to an Asian.
A capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Okay, I live when I believe. No. What do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified.
I guess same with an Indian, same with a Mexican. It's not just black. He kind of latches onto things to rage bait, I won't lie.
If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk. I live like a cap.
So there you go. Form your own opinions on that.
No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian. LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart. He does these press conferences where he thinks he's making sense spiritually and freedom of speech. But he's a product of his time. What would you expect from LeBron James? If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? Instead of dealing with the substance and or my very public track record of hating bigotry and racism and also associating with people of all sorts of different backgrounds, they started to call me racist. Soul and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. Period. End of. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers.
Okay. I mean, I get it. To be honest with you, I'm just saying it. I don't think he's very racist. I think that he could be prejudiced. And I know that that's splitting hairs. But, I mean, I just think... First of all, I think, yes, he's using black a little bit too liberally. Like, why not mix in Asian? Why not mix in Mexican? Right? I will say that. I will also say... I've seen his debates, and he, all races come up and speak to him, right? And he doesn't give off prejudice to anybody. So, I mean, I think he's shown, tenderness in the debates, to be honest with you, with all races. But again, does he kind of bring up, like I said, why not use Mexican? Why not use Asian when you talk about DEI? Let me look it up. I don't know all these things for facts. So, is DEI only applies... Okay, wait. What race does DEI apply to? Diversity in DEI includes race as one of the many dimensions of difference, also including ethnicity, gender, age, ability, and sexual orientation. oh damn, so they got it. That's why he said the thing about a lesbian black woman, I guess, because you have to like hire a certain amount of like LGBTQ plus members, certain people of a certain age range, certain amount of women, right? And it's like, why do we need an even amount of women pilots if there's a better qualified male, so that the males don't, you know, dominate the space? It's all fair game. That's just like giving it up. Like males are better than women. Okay, well if that's the case, then they should 100%, you know what I mean, have more of the jobs. They're better than women, and we're all admitting it on the standard of DEI itself. If women, right, were just as competitive, right, or all genders were just as competitive, so to speak, if all genders were just as competitive in the job market, so to speak, there would be no need for DEI, right? DEI is to give jobs to people who aren't really finding space in the market, and they're going to say it's because of discrimination, right? Not because they're qualified. So they're going to say, oh, women, right, don't get the jobs because they're discriminated against, right? And then if you go with the races, right, whatever race it is, they don't get the job because they're discriminated against. Interesting. That's interesting. And I know saying interesting is fucking retarded to say, so my bad. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I just find it, you know, interesting. It's a little bit contradicting. It's assuming that there's a lot of discrimination, you know, and that if this isn't in place, it would exist more rampant. DEI efforts often aim to address inequities that people of various races and other identities may face due to historical or systematic disadvantage. For example, one statement mentions Black, Latinx, Asian, Pacific Islander, Indigenous, and multiracial people in its definition of people of color. Okay, yeah, so it's not just Black. So he can stop using Black as an example. Like, use Asian every once in a while. This was a viral comment, but Colby making a joke about Leon's dad, or Leon's dead father is cool, right? Bro, Colby making a joke about Leon's dead father. It's not just because Izzy made a joke about a white guy, and I feel like that's what this is. Izzy obviously race baited here by saying, I'm gonna make a black joke. But I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. So people are saying it's because Izzy can't take a joke, and here he is joking about people. Oh, okay, so yeah, that's right, because Colby did say his dad was like a gang leader and shit. Regardless, it's low to mock the dead. Yeah, this person goes, I think being a gang leader who consistently robs people and committing other various crimes is arguably worse than some random podcaster. Regardless, it's low to mock the dead. I think that just because like Izzy did this doesn't make Colby right. Like, Colby was wrong for dissing Leon's dad in his own right. And Izzy's wrong, you know, for dissing the dead in this case too, in my opinion. Especially because, like, what did Charlie really say? I mean, someone tell me what he said. Like, tell me what's so offensive if you guys can. I'm a tribal member that worked for my tribe's casino. We had to pass on people with degrees for tribal members that didn't graduate high school. That's DEI, right? That's DEI. So DEI is bringing in, you know, it's not based off of your qualifications, right? It's based off your skin color, which is dumb because that means you're passing, just like James said right here, you're passing on a more qualified person to meet a quota. And I don't think that should ever be a case in society whatsoever. Might be a little bit of a different subject, not apples to apples fully, but I did get what James was saying. Just in any subject where DEI or some DEI type thing causes you to pass up on a more qualified candidate, right? You should never be passing up on more qualified candidates because of skin color, because of gender, right? Because of fucking sexual orientation. That is just retarded. If these are the things that are making you diss the dead, can I just say that? If these are the things that he said that are making you diss him, right? He's dead and gone. Like, he didn't say anything too crazy. If anything, the Asian people should be coming after him for for that one that he said.